Marriage is a house, and you have different rooms, and you have different rules for each house. And sometimes people can look at the people on stage and look at your social media and think everything is perfect for you, and that you never have conflict, that you never, are in the doghouse or anything like that. So dispel that myth. How do you handle conflict in your relationship?
Yeah, so you talked about houses. We actually have these 3 frames. Because you
Listen, he makes everything a sermon. Y'all, watch.
That's right.
Watch. That's why I always let him go first. Usually I like to go first because mine don't be as good.
That's right.
I'm gonna be like, we just make it happen, and then he gonna come with, go, babe, go.
Say it on, sister.
Go, you got this.
Oh yeah, right on.
Okay,
right,
you got this. You got
All
this.
right.
Go.
So you want to do the frame?
Nope, go ahead.
No, you gotta do it.
I gotta do it with you. Yes.
All right. So we got the A frame. You already know what it is, right?
Yes.
So the A frame.
I know it.
The A frame is when you're so dependent on each other that if somebody loses their balance, somebody falls. And
Good
so A-frame relationships are unhealthy because if she moves, I'm a mess. And then we've got the H-frame relationship, which means that we still have connectivity, but we're one situation away from separation.
Wow.
But then we have our M-frame. The M stands for marriage. Now, she's on her feet, I'm on my feet, but try to get in between this.
Well, we got a circle frame. I didn't like that. I didn't know we was cheerleading. That's at the other convention.
I'm a bag off.
So no matter what your alphabet is, if you an M or an O, you gotta make your marriage work. But I love that because you have 2 couples here and but they're saying the same thing if you listen carefully. They're saying the same thing, but how they express it comes out differently. So when you're sitting here and you're listening, we don't want you to mimic them. We want you to take the principle and then apply it to your life and apply it to your marriage. Amen? Okay, and Sarah kind of answered this, but I want to go a little deeper. How do you make time for you in the relationship? Because that's one of your spaces, is how do you make time for you in the relationship without losing connectivity to your mate?
Go ahead, tea time.
She mentioned tea time. That's Touré time. I think that, first of all, it's the consciousness that if I don't get time just to me, to minister to me, then T&S time is not going to be what it can be. And she's learning that because, like, when I used to, fly somewhere or drive somewhere or whatever, she used to be a little like, really? You get to do that? But the version of me that she would get when I got back was so elevated and so loving and so patient and so, you know what I mean, that she started sending me away like, don't you need just some tea time? And so I think for me, we have an agreement. Now, I was trying to take some tea time. Don't do that? Okay. Sometimes she'll jump on the plane. But we have an agreement.
Where are we going?
Right.
Feel a heavy we in my spirit on this one.
But we give each other permission. So I'll say, and she'll do the same, and she gets her time. But, hey, listen, I'm feeling like I need these few days. And by the way, it is not a rejection of her. And this is really important because me saying I need some tea time is not me saying I need time away from Sarah. It actually has nothing to do with Sarah or the kids or anybody else, but it is me recognizing what my soul needs to be the healthiest version of Touré. But you can't get there unless there's communication, because it will look like you're running away from your spouse or from your kids or from work. It's not that. I'm not running away from nothing. I'm running to a better and healthier version of myself. So there's communication prior to me leaving, prior to her leaving, and then there's an agreement. There's sometimes where I can't go. Okay, I have this need, but as we look at our family, as we look at our work landscape, whatever we might need in our sphere of influence, there's sometimes where I have to put it off. Or, you know, what Sarah will do, sometimes I'll go and then she'll go. So it's just the communication part is big.
I'll tell you, so the first time that he said he needed some tea time, that was unfamiliar to me, like time to himself. And I had to really work through that, one, because I've just been in bad relationships in the past, and I'm like, let me roll up at this hotel. Let me risk it all, you know what I'm saying? Like, don't let me, you know. And then when I realized that that was just my old trauma coming up and that I was attributing his character to previous experiences, I had to learn to really grow and trust him and trust God, and, you know, so that was one thing. Then I started getting resentful, though, because I think as the facilitator of the kids, the facilitator of the house, I have this idea in my head that if I leave, this whole thing gonna fall apart. And that's not true. I did not create in my mind enough room for the house to fall apart and that being okay, for the kids to be off their schedule and that be okay, for him to not do things the way that I would do them and for that to be okay. But the idea that like he was going away getting some time when I was like burnt out, losing myself, it used to create a lot of resentment, ultimately not just within me but in our marriage. So anytime he needs time away, now I'm thinking about all of the times where I need time away. Am I making this look so easy? I wish somebody would just send me away instead of using my own words to advocate for my own needs. And so when the first time that I did go away, it was really more out of like, I'm finna show you that when I'm gone, whoopty-whoopty-woo. And, but then when I got there by myself, I'm like, whoa, I can do this without it being a punishment or retaliation for him being gone, and it not change the dynamic of our relationship, and I get an opportunity to get what I need too. And we're talking like 2 days at a hotel up the street. And sometimes I do have to call in extra reinforcements, right? Because he's not gonna lay edges. And if my girls at school and their edges ain't laid, what kind of mother am I? You know what I mean? So like, sometimes I do call in reinforcement. Can somebody, you know, here's the DoorDash, here's what they order, here's the snack routine. Like, I do have to help facilitate it, but the time for me to recalibrate, be by myself, not be bothered when I'm in the bathroom, walk around with my wig off, be crazy, eat food in the bed, watch ratchet television, then pray. This is how I know how to pray effectively, is when I see what's happening in the world. God, I bring my sister Nene to you. She's throwing drinks at people, you know? And I feel like a woman. And I think, let me just say this, I think part of what makes it difficult for women to feel sexy and to show up as women in their marriages is we are legitimately so tired thinking about tomorrow that the idea that I can throw it in a circle tonight is unreasonable. Well, but I have found that when I disconnect from my responsibilities and I have a minute to recalibrate, that the circle still circulates.
I think you need to go to Jamaica. I just feel like the Lord's speaking to me.
Send me, Lord. Send me.
I just
Send me, Lord.